loose. He's managed to hold on and they get
He missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield for 4. He slides through, he tags Richard Eck.
They hail from around the globe, and though separated by oceans, they gather in the virtual world for reasons as varied as their locales. Whether it's a defending champion looking to retain his title, a new and eager hopeful striving for recognition, or a legend prepared to recapture past glory, in the end, the one goal they all share is to win. But when naming a victor, only one driver's name can be etched into the record books. You're watching the Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour.
Championships are normally an intense affair, so when you get any opportunity to have a break, you grab it with 2 open hands. Yet, while drivers will grab a rest with both hands, there is no guarantee that there will be a race today because, with non-championship scoring today, it's a Demolition Derby day here at Summit Point Raceway, and we will play host on iRacing Live and the global SimRacing channel. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tidal Influence Countdown to Green and pre-race coverage of an event which not many people will be familiar with, but arguably one of the most entertaining schedules of any evening. I am the man back from a journey to London, Mr. Hashtag Do You Mind himself, Jake Sperry, giving you the rec report on all the drivers this evening. Joined alongside me, as ever, is the man who has lasted as an unbreakable pillar of MWT, Bill Soupzan. Joe Peak will be more eagle-eyed than most today, directing the cameras, created by the man who shall be named, Dougie Beard. But Soup, Summit Point is a true racer's circuit, pardon the pun. But today, it becomes a battleground among the drivers. Many open expanses and heavy braking zones will help to cause incident today.
I'm an unbreakable pillar. I like that. Let's see if we can get that in the script every round. Hey, before I talk about the track, I have to remind everybody that this is brought to you thanks to the guys at Tidal Influence, an ecological consulting firm based in Long Beach, California, that restores wetland saves and studies endangered species and educates children about our environment. For more information, go to TidalInfluence.com. Okay, we don't have a video guide today because really to talk about passing zones and braking zones and danger zones, well, everything's a passing zone, everywhere's a danger zone, because this is a demo derby. So let's talk about why this track, over trial and error, has established itself as the perfect demo derby track. Now, let's talk first of all about the trees. There's so many places where you can get bumped out of bounds, and getting bumped out of bounds will cost you a bunch of time. So that's one of the reasons they've chosen this place. It's open spaces here. It's hard for a herd of cars to get together and entirely block the track. And then finally, there's a great shortcut that you can take across the grass. If you miss them in corner 5, you can get them in corner 8. And you might have to pay a penalty, but that doesn't really matter here. Now remember, I bet you're all confused. What the heck are we talking about? This is not about racing. This is something totally different. This is a matter of survival. Who can get to the checker flag first?
Oh, it always is. And a small thing to note, I did say at iRacing Live that we were on. No, we're not. I'm lying to you. So don't go there. That's certainly a way to go forward. But a few MX-5s then in qualifying, taking a trip around the bread and butter outing. But today, Soup, there is more at stake than just wrecking because the unofficial race means so much more. And because of that, we have regulation of a truly unique event.
Okay, so let's go ahead and bring up the graphic right now. First of all, this is a exhibition race. It will not count. We're going for 45 minutes. Now, there are teams, so that's really what this is all about, is not so much the individual winner, but if you can get your team to go there. There are 3 drivers per team. Now, the object is to get your teammate, whether it's you or one of the other 2 teammates, first to the checker flag. That's who wins. Fast repairs, hey, baby, it's all you can eat. Unlimited, because you're going to need them. Incident caps, are you crazy? Not going to use them today. Racing etiquette, well, very simply, there is none. Jake?
And, well, if Trip Smith was deciding to race this, I think he would be the nicest driver in the world going for the clean instant limit, as it were, at the end of the season, Soup. But at this circuit, anything is possible. And here's the next question I propose to you. who decides to want to be on pole position in this race? Because there's no guarantee you can get away from anyone in the early stages. And even at that point, lap traffic becomes the difficulty. Currently, it's Alexander Lauritsen who is on pole position, but that may be the worst possible place you can put a machine.
And remember, there are no rules, so the action may actually start before the green flag falls. As soon as the drivers are allowed to move their cars, look for some bumping and banging to take place on the grid. We've seen it before. Here's a couple key points to remember. I've talked about it before. Never take a tow. If you can limp your car around, that's going to save you a lot of time. That's one of the reasons you want to stay out of the trees. Also, don't be the leader. If you're the leader, you put a bullseye on yourself. You want to try to drive under the radar. If you can race third, fourth, somewhere close enough when the leader gets taken out late, you can find yourself out in front. And finally, a big key to the race is teammates, communication. You don't actually need 3 guys trying to get to the checkered flag first. You may want to be the one guy trying to get there, and you might need 2 blockers. 2 of your teammates might be clearing the road for you or taking out the guys that are in your way or who are coming after you. So this is a lot of fun. And there's also, we should point out that this is opened up to the iRacing community. It's not just the regular league members, but we have a lot of outsiders coming in.
We certainly do. Everyone wants a bit of fun here. 23 drivers are currently set a lap time in qualifying. Giuseppe Iannucci is coming out to set a time. And of course, Iannucci, a driver who is a former winner here of the Demolition Derby. So if you look at hot form, you look at Iannucci, you look at Thyssen, you look at these sorts of characters who want to show that they can win this event.
Now you can tell what team the driver on. You look at that overlay that Joe Peak has up there. Iannucci racing for the Brown team. No more than 3 drivers per team, and we'll have those colors on there so you know who's racing with who, and of course the livery should show that as well.
It certainly should show that. Of course, everyone getting their own specific color, but of course we have people trying to race as a certain game that we can't use for legal reasons. But aside that, it's going to be one of those races where you think about maybe where is the right place to call action, who can make the right moves. Brian Holmes out on a lap, Giuseppe Iannucci out on a lap, and there's 2 ways that you look at it. You either go as high up the field as possible and hope to hit gold, or you wait at the back and wait for everyone else to run into issues, but it's not as clear cut as meets the eye, because veterans will know which way to turn. If you're going to be too bold, too brave, you get the sort of ducking check effect that you sometimes see at races like these. And it also means for a very topsy-turvy grid, drivers like Sarah Dove and Cesare Rizzo inside the top 10 soup.
There's been a couple of these demo derbies that have been decided on the last lap between 9 and 10, where the leader is taken out and maybe the front 2 cars are taken out, and the guy from third sneaks around, goes around Paddock Bend, that's corner 10, and has a clear run to the finish line. Also, if you want a fun consumption game, boys and girls, and of course we recommend that you drink responsibly, every time I misidentify a color, go ahead and take a sip of whatever you got there in front of you.
Well, for me, it'll be water, so I'll keep my ears peeled for certainly something like that. Giuseppe Iannucci moves up to position number 5 in qualifying there, a 122.834. So third row, the 2 champions right now, currently on exactly the same row as each other. That's going to be what we call Champions Row, then, it seems, at this stage, and nobody out there setting a lap from here. I think it's safe to say it's time to call the grid. And of course, the grid is sponsored by Heusinkveld, of course, our very much favourites when we get right down to it. Heusinkveld offers a broad array of products and services, including advanced vehicle simulation software and hardware, and sponsors on practically every major team in sim racing today. If you're looking for an edge in racing, get in touch today at heusinkveld.com. Alexander Lauritsen, pole position, 122.518 in front of Robert Hartley in second position. Sonny Kanchin, championship leader overall in third. Slovene machine Patrick Fliss is in fourth. Giuseppe Iannucci fifth, with Nick Thyssen, the 2 veterans, shall we say, 5th and 6th. The Bay State Hammer, though, Tom Ratchie in 7th, with Anthony Delahaye in 8th, Brian Holmes 9th, and Sarah Dove rounds out the top 10.
In 11th, it's veteran Cesare Rizzo, or at least a familiar driver to the MWT. Marco Derricks in the 12th position. Baker Douglas spot. Jupe Willemsen. Michael Wright in the 14th spot. Elliot Shear and Chris Bissett make up the next row. Richard Tam, Kip Stevens leading in the AM class in the official series. Ryan Kunz and Greg Klein make 19 and 20.
Ashley Beard double in blackjack, double deuce Victor Drapeguard. Then you got Ross Bygrave and Eric Garcia, Dominic Heusinkveld and Dries Nice there, Steve Heffer, Jeff Lavelle, William Wright, and also you have Lee Diemer there as well. 7 more, Soup.
And then finally we wrap up with Joe McDonald, Mark King, Jeroen Ursum, Evan Longacre, Billy Fitzgerald, Jimmy Wessel, and Alan English.
Well, the English at the back. So that's how it's going to be for the moment. So 37 machines to cause carnage here this evening. 2 minutes to get yourself gridded up. And I wonder how many will decide to start from a place known as Pit Road here today, knowing that there is a tight nature of this circuit, a lot of ability for instant to occur. Still waiting on about 3 or 4 as you look further towards the back. You look at the likes, maybe you look at the likes of the favourites to try and get through. You maybe look at Dries Nice holding up the rest of the field as we got 15 seconds before a 45-minute all-out war is called and the blood will draw the battle lines. Eyes on the 40, then 2 minutes is up. Engine notes will start to rise then here for the Demolition Derby. 45 minutes worth of action. And let's get it completely underway. And it seems that we got ourselves a cleanish start at the front. Nobody really daring to sacrifice their vehicle as of yet. And the weaving's begun and they're thinking about making the moves. Holmes and Ratji close together and they're already making contact side by side. And the pitting begins as we look in towards one. That was a vehicle off. Whoa, straight over goes, I believe, one of those vehicles there. It was in light blue, but that was the vehicle originally of Patrick Fliss who was getting turned around.
Meanwhile, while that's going on, Jeroen Ursum has cut the course. If we can go to Jeroen right now, he is sitting in he's all the way over at corner number 8.
Genius. Absolute genius. And this was the scenario I was starting to think of. Yes, he's got to serve the penalty, but how long is that penalty going to be? Ursum may just play himself into this race right now here, Soup.
So we'll see how this plays out. He's going to come in. He's making his pit stop right now. We'll see how this plays out. Meanwhile, a lot of these times things will settle down early. It'll pick up as drivers start to get the feel of what's going on.
They certainly will, and the gaps start to go. In comes Michael Wright as well, who has cut across the circuit. Remember, there are unlimited fast repairs, so Ursum will sit in the box and wait, and here comes Alexander Laritz, and then around the final corner, looking to try and get himself away, and it's a long hold for Jeroen Ursum. He has cut that course, so he is paying back his dues, and you can see it may not have been worth it in the early stage. It depends on how many positions he gains. Talk about Sarah Dove as well in the 177, up a full 6 positions off the start, up into position number 4, and you can see it's clean now in towards turn number 1. Drivers not willing to try and get themselves in a situation where incident will occur.
Saw a little action happening back there about 14th or 15th. That really doesn't matter. The strategy is if you're racing back there, don't really worry about that. Look for the leaders. And now we'll see some of the cars that have damage start to come around and be an obstacle for Lawrence, and he's a sitting duck right now.
He is, and he will be the driver with the target on his back. Drivers like Joe McDonald are easing themselves down onto pit road, and Larrickson now, well, he's got a chase on behind him. Delahaye, Ratji, Dove, Derricks, Tam, Iannucci in there with Bassett, and Iannucci will want to use his pace to get away, but talk about big gains. Lee Diemer up 20 in the early goings and a little bit of contact behind. Stevens and Willemsen trying to give 1 and 2.
A lot of cars in pit road as the leader's coming around 10. I don't think any of those are going to get out before him, so I think the leader's going to have another clean drive all the way through.
Nope.
We
Garcia and Thyssen. So those two will want to get out and start causing mayhem for Alexander Larrickson. And Larritson's got to be careful now because he knows that there may be blockers, shall we say, as we've said before. Delahaye's behind. You talk about Ratji behind, who may look down to the inside to make a move. He thinks about it. Turn him round. Bay State hammer. There is a home run.
That's how you do it. Meanwhile, the leader is coming up on the back. Now, these are two veterans of this, Nick Thyssen and Eric Garcia. These guys know what's going on. They are just waiting for the leader. Let's see if Lauritsen, who is new to this demo derby, understands what's actually going to happen. There's no way Eric Garcia is letting that leader by without some problems.
Oh, he thought about it and he went straight on. They just psyched each other out on the brakes. Lauritsen's going to get back onto the circuit. Garcia's going to go straight on forward. So Lauritsen back on, but that lead advantage to the Bay State Hammer has completely gone. Now you got Dove versus Derricks for the podium, and there goes Sarah Dove into a 360. Pirouettes nicely, gets back going again, and the light blue and white, they have 3 vehicles inside the top 10 with Iannucci and Tam also there.
And so far, Lauritsen has been clean. He's got Ratchy behind him, but I'm surprised the guys in front did not
There goes
slow down.
Hayes. And that was a 360, held it out of getting put out of bounds, as it were, well held as things continue on in this event. Very, very well held in the early goings there, Soup.
Lauritsen has got to be saying, this is great, as he's 5 minutes in, nobody has messed with him, and Tom Ratchy as well. Be interesting to see if Ratchy actually does something with Lauritsen, if those guys are just going to decide to race away right now.
Well, this is the big thing I want to look at, is Iannucci, because Tam's let him go, knowing that Iannucci is the quicker driver. Lee Diemer just behind as well could have had a say in anything that would have happened into one to stop Iannucci charging. And there's Michael Wright going for a spin there, right in the middle of the road. Derricks missing.
Took a shot at the leaders, and they were too fast for him. He had the car parked on the side. All right, now we have, keep an eye on Alex. Oh, that's going off into the grass there. That was yeah. Graveguard had a shot, but he's going to let the leaders go by.
Oh, and Holmes is trying. Holmes tried. Holmes failed there. No front bumper there on Brian Holmes. Holmes had a try and is holding up for the Bay State Hammer.
Ratchy through as well. So again, Lauritsen and Ratchy continue to move on. Now ahead of them, Nick Thiessen. Here they come. Pitting in next to Garcia's having to go in. Let's see if Thiessen slows down and tries to get these guys.
Yeah, and you can see just how drivers are trying everything. Della Hayes has been caught up. Kip Stevens slowing as well, as Victor Draveguard needs to play in a little bit of defense. You don't know where to look from times to time, so you kind of keep your eyes open and peeled at the front. Lauritsen, Ratchy behind that. You have the likes here of Iannucci, who did a 24 flat. Compare it to the 24.3, incidents happen. Hefford slow, Bassett slow. That's going to be the next thing to get through. Thissen's just going to race this one, knowing he's a lap down, try and bring himself back into the play. Hefford and Bassett now the worry for Lauritsen.
Bassett again, though, one of those drivers still on the lead lap. Let's see if he plays with the leader. Here comes the leader.
Oh, he thought about it. He lost it.
Yep.
Oh, he thought about it, and he just got too aggressive on the grass. And, well, Lauritsen will say, thank you very much. I'll have my 2 bits at the end of the day. And look at the wide line now that Hefford's taking. He's going to try and straight line it, try and cut it so that he gets it just the right time. He's waiting.
Oh, but he takes out the car. He takes out the last lap car, and that lets the leader by, and so does Ratchy.
Oh, that was an effort, but that was the wrong way to go for Steve Hefford, who tries to get Iannucci, and Iannucci misses as well. Thyssen now a lap down as well, and Nick Thyssen now will have to play a very long game going back. Down on the lane now will come Ashley Beard in for a stop. Out of pit road, Anthony Della Hayes, and part spread eagle is Joe McDonald here, and that's going to be a worry then for the driver of Lauritsen to have to deal with. He gets around all of it there as Cesare Rizzo was coming out of the road, and he should be one of the favourites here today for big action. And look at that, he hits the Bay State Hammer, and the Bay State Hammer holds on.
Not done yet. Let's see if Rizzo takes a shot at him under braking going into one. If Rizzo stays on the throttle, here he comes, and he got him.
Got him, and the Bay State Hammer is hit for a home run of himself, and that is out of second position. And we said Cesare Rizzo, he had a 1 race ban for being a bit too mean, and they're almost taking out Iannucci. There was another driver. So right now, worries coming in. Beard now having a lot of worries here. No way for Lauritsen to go through, and Lauritsen is pushing him down the straight. No other options, and he's thinking about it again. And round goes Ashley Beard.
He's Tebow trying to find his way around as the leader. He finally negotiates around the car of Beard, and Lauritsen continues to be the leader.
He does, and well, The worry is Iannucci has closed up about 4 seconds on this lap alone. And how much damage now does Alexander Lauritsen have? A very heavily damaged front nose of that vehicle. So it may mean that Lauritsen will have to come in. Rizzo goes around again as I keep my eyes open. And, well, you look at the train actually just behind.
Oh!
And that's Lauritsen getting hit again there. And that
Longacre got him, I think. Is that who it was?
Longacre. Oh, Longacre just crabbing along. Big turn. And, well, Lauritsen nowhere to go. And, well, he continues for now. But we got a brand new leader. It's Giuseppe Iannucci.
Lauritsen knows you got to limp that car around. If you take the toe, it'll go forever. So now, here is a former winner, Iannucci, out in front.
And into one, hoping to try and make a move. Not going to happen then for the driver of Brian Holmes. He thinks about it, and he gets a tap, but that's just a tap. It's not going to be enough here at the 8-minute mark out of 45. So we're about 1/5 distance heading towards Joe McDonald will be the next challenge. And this is the thing. If you've got so much damage that you can't continue, it will be a long 3 laps to try and serve.
Yeah, Joe McDonald's got to go on Deadliest Catch the way that car is crabbing.
Oh yes, and we're down to just 15 on the leading lap, if that, at this stage, as drivers take their fast repairs and get running for the hills yet again. So let's take a look then at drivers inside your top 10. Sonny Kanchin is one of them in 7th position overall. You got Lovell right now. We got Pandemonium just in front. That's Derek's getting taken out by Della Hayes, and also going off is the likes of Joe McDonald, who has been a pain in the backside for a lot of drivers, and Jeff Lovell as well. So it seems that the purple and orange teams certainly are not having a very good day at all, as Derek's gets turned by Kanchin.
If you're scoring at home, 15 cars on the lead lap. Early on, we thought that the black team was going to be great, as they actually had 5 drivers available. They just wanted to choose. They wanted to make sure they had a full team here. They only entered 3.
They only entered 3. Lauritsen is down on the lane, which is a very good situation for him to deal with right now, but it is Iannucci.
Let's go to the leader. Yeah, this is Iannucci. This is Jimmy Wessel trying to hold him back. He's got Wessel in front, and now coming from behind is Steve Hefford.
Jimmy Vessel will look to play blocker. Hefford wanting to get in on it, and Vessel lets him go. Interesting, lets him go. And no, he's going to play back marker as Hefford just ceremoniously dumps him out to the outside of 3.
Now, maybe he tried to break and swerve and get him. Now, this will be interesting here. A veteran for Hefford. He should take the cutoff here and go get the leader, but he doesn't. He's going to stay on track.
He is, and how quickly do you...
No, he doesn't. Here he comes. Let's look at Hefford. He's coming across.
Got him.
Got him.
Just got him. He's rolled his vehicle, which means he must take a tow, but Giuseppe Iannucci has been ceremoniously dumped. Now, Lee Diemer is the vehicle in 2nd position and runs wide as he tried to take out, I believe that was Ryan Coombs he was trying to take out there. Not very good. Now that's Richard Tam now in 2nd position. This is gold dust right now for the team of light blue and white, because they are now 1 and 2 in this event with Bay State Hammer 1 lap down. It's Gert Willemsen now in 3rd.
Iannucci was forced to pit after that contact, so he has to come in, but he was able to limp it around. So yeah, how about that drive for our new leader?
Richard Tam, who started 17th, now puts himself in advantage, now takes to the grass, wants to avoid it all, and look at that, 1, 2, 3, no, Tam's going to go round, and he's going to try and save himself from going out of bounds, does he? He's in the trees, he saves himself, but at what cost? Willemsen holds on, Diemer holds on.
But I think Tam is going to remain the leader. I don't think anyone got to him.
No, I think Willemsen now leading the race here, as Tam was ceremoniously turned on the front stretch here at what is the 11-12 minute mark. So Gert Willemsen now leads your event, and this is the surprising thing. Willemsen now will have to try and break away here. You got Diemer there in the picture. Iannucci back out on circuit trying to get going after what was that fast repair. Diemer may decide to turn him, and look at that. Got him. Willemsen taken by Klein.
Klein had him. Klein had a lock. You can almost see the bullseye locked on him, and he just went full throttle and gets him. Let's see if they clear the trees here. That's our leader. Another leader taken out. Again, it's tough to be. There it is.
There it is. And well, now looking at who the leader is, it may be Diemer and Iannucci. who are battling for the race lead. Iannucci maybe 1 lap down right now as things stand. I expect that to be the case. So that would put Lee Diemer, you would have thought, in that sort of picture. But it will be Iannucci who will cross the line in the race lead. Giuseppe Iannucci, for the second time today, re-inherits that race lead. Lee Diemer's not the quickest, but he keeps himself out of trouble. But look behind, there's Sonny Kanchin in position number 3. He always somehow finds a way to win.
How could that happen? And we actually have a race going on now up there with Iannucci, Diemer, and Kanchin.
But here's Michael Wright, who's trying to hold up Iannucci. He thinks about it. Left, right, there's the trail brake. There's the brake check. Iannucci gets dumped. And now here comes Lee Diemer, just playing slow and steady. Mr. Methodical, as now Nick Thyssen, just in front, may have a word.
That was a great strategy by Iannucci. So if you're going to slow down, I'll just take you out now. Here comes Iannucci on Thyssen. Thyssen, did it work before for Iannucci? Oh, look at this.
Diemer's
new leader.
New leader and round. Lee Diemer caught him napping. Thyssen tries to take Iannucci, not going to work. Kanchin's going to give him all the time in the world to try and save it. But look at this. Iannucci may come back at Lee Diemer here, and there's no real drama in front of them to speak of. But look at how clever Diemer is. He's just going to let him go because he doesn't want to hurt Iannucci in his race. Iannucci's going to run knowing Kanchin's there waiting. And Thyssen's off.
Yeah, sometimes if you have the choice to be the leader or be a couple car lengths behind in second, that may be the way to go.
And Thyssen was turned by Kanchin in that situation, so Kanchin's done a very good job of things, but now Lee Diemer will look to play the very clever card of trying to hold into play slow vehicles. Vettel is one of them, and you look, Della Hayes in there as well. The gap 0.4 of a second then at the 15-minute mark, 1/3 distance. Already scored in this event, 11 vehicles on the leading lap, and they include the likes of Richard Tam, Kip the Hairflick Stevens there in position 5, Hartley in there, Derricks, Philipson, Skier, King. And I have to say, it's the British Sim Racer drivers who feel that they have the best advantage today here, Soup, because they run the British Sim Racer Kia, and sometimes they said racing sometimes can be a bit like this.
All right, I'll buy that one.
He buys it. That's a very good thing. So Diemer just sitting waiting, but look at the vehicles in front. Vettel tries to slow it and turns him, and he's going to get it through. And look at that, straight through the middle. Nope, Diemer's going to get a touch from behind. Kanchin avoids all of it, and Kanchin up to second. Kanchin, no, Diemer's going to survive and take the easy road out to retain the lead.
Look up ahead. Here's Lee Diemer coming back out, though. It
looks like he may need a tow. And if he needs a tow, that's his race. Pretty much falling backwards from here out on in. It's not the end of the world. Iannucci has proven that it doesn't have to be the end of the world. But again, Sonny Kanchin somehow leads this event. No, he doesn't. He's going to get turned by Beard into Iannucci, into all of them. They all get hit. And my goodness me, somehow, some way, Iannucci's gone. But my goodness, that's a very good, well-plowed play by the driver of Ashley Beard. And there's more contact.
Those guys who are going to come into the pits are going the other direction, trying to block who's ever coming around next. We still have to see who the new leader is going to be.
I believe when we look at it, it could be Kip Stevens. In this situation, there was a try there from Hefford. Hefford wasn't going to have it. It is now Hartley, actually, who takes the lead 1.7 seconds over Kip Stevens in second. And Marco Derricks now in the 3rd position overall. So what we're seeing is a lot of drivers knowing what they need to do in these early stages. But of course, all this does is it brings back into play everybody else. The more incidents there are, the more that drivers who are staying clean get back into this one. And Hartley has Eric Garcia in front.
We have that going on. Garcia's a veteran. Let's see if he knows what to do here. He's going to wait for him to come around. If Garcia can keep the car, boy, it's really loose.
It is loose. He keeps it on the circuit. Oh, doesn't feel that he has a need to be causing incident. Stevens gets a little bit worried by marking behind, so he bails out of it there in that situation. Good play by Kip Stevens. He's playing the game of margins here today, Sue.
Up ahead, that is Bygrave just about got the leader as he spins back out onto the track.
Oh, and Derricks is going to be hit. Derricks is hit. Derricks from 3rd, caught out by Bygrave. And, well, he went for the gap that didn't exist in the end. It definitely didn't exist.
Looking at... Go ahead.
Who are you looking at? I'll let you go.
Well, I'm interested in Garcia up here. This is we look at Garcia racing in 17th overall, 1 lap down. I'm surprised the leader's behind him, Robert Hartley. Hartley doesn't want to get too close to him. I'm surprised Garcia isn't slowing down. I think Garcia still has visions of winning this thing.
He's pulling away, actually, at this stage, at a rate of 0.6 of a second on that last lap. Hartley is playing the casual, calm game as the battle for second hots up. Derricks versus Stevens. Stevens is letting everyone have a chance, but right now, it's about Derricks now looking to play defense in this situation. Now, does he brake check, allow Stevens to collect the damage, or does he now start running for Hartley? Would you sacrifice yourself right now in this situation to get Robert Hartley? It is that sort of gap we're looking at.
We'll see if those 2 trailing cars take the shortcut. They do not. For anyone, okay, Garcia still up ahead. Nobody really in front of Hartley right now. He's got some nice Saturday night driving.
Oh, and Lee Deemer's been involved again. This one on the run to 3. That was just out of 2. It was contact with Bassett, who was 2 laps down, and Bassett doing some big work into the catch fence for Deemer.
We look at that one right there. There goes Deemer.
There he goes, and well, there was the contact, and that should be enough to keep people interested. No one out of the event, but we got drivers pushing it always to that limit right now. And well, you look at battles up and down the field, you got one for 15th, 16th, Dove versus Klein. It's a little bit more expensive, and there we go. There's contact, and into the tyres hard goes Greg Klein.
Iannucci complaining about something.
Oh, Iannucci not happy there with McDonald. Willemsen there. Fliss was involved as well. So Iannucci, he may not be happy, but he has to know that these are the rules of the land, and you can't really argue anything else against it in this situation. But something very worth talking about is the fact that you got Sonny Kanchin in 4th, 40 seconds now behind leader Hartley. And Hartley right now, under pressure, he's found Ryan Coons.
Coons in front, Skier behind.
Well, it's one of the two. He's got to think about which way he's going to do it. He thinks about going down the inside. It's not going to work. Now here is the driver of Skier. Skier's going to pit him, and he's pitted around. Save it. Saved it. Just.
He comes out of the trees.
He saved it. That's crucial. But no, he's not safe. Greg Klein with a great touch. Derricks into the lead. Oh, and look at that. Stevens getting crunched as well by King, who was in 2nd position. That's enough for Marco Derricks to get away. Hartley is beached. Can Hartley get out of there, Soup?
We'll have to take a tow. That'll be costly. That's probably his right. There he goes. Yep.
It's a tow, and that's a shame. He wanted it not to be a tow, but it is a tow, and that will be enough to really frustrate everybody else in this event, especially Robert Hartley, though. Hartley needs to get away. Iannucci given just enough room by Brian Holmes. Holmes was not going to put himself in harm's way at this stage of the event, and he also lets through the driver Joe McDonald. Maybe not the way he wanted, but Derricks now has a 30-second lead over Sonny Kanchin. Kanchin in all sorts of issues of his own as he takes to the grass into 1.
Let's look at our leader, though, real quick. He's got 2 cars in front of him. Boy, if we can get that, what a great move. He gets around them both.
Oh, the teammates hit each other. Garcia and Coons, no communication. That's what you were saying at the start, Soup.
They had him set up. I believe that was either the brown or the orange team. My rods and cones fail me sometimes.
It was the green team.
Oh, it was the green. That's even worse. Hey, take a sip, everybody. But good job from Derricks as he gets around him.
Yeah, as he gets around him, and Lauritsen trying to pit just behind, and Lauritsen does a very good job, though. Derricks involved with Longacre there. Longacre tried everything to get himself involved. That was a brake check.
And Derricks, he's got nobody in front of him right now. He's going to get out ahead. Oh, let's see. He's going to be far enough ahead of Klein. Klein's not going to get a run on him. He's all by himself.
He is, and there's someone there, Elliot Skier at the hairpin. Where's he going? He's going to be going out, is the answer. I think he's bored. So yeah, that was Elliot Skier, but all of it now is behind Derricks. It's Jimmy Vessel in front, Lee Deemer really struggling in front as well, who's now going to fall that 1 lap down. Does Deemer sacrifice himself now here for the driver of Marco Derricks?
Is he gonna get, boys? Coming.
Heusinkveld is there as well. There's 3 down waiting here at 4, and Derricks is going to see 1. He's going to pass it. He's going to see 2. No chance for Lee Diemer. He's going to cut across, and 3 of Vettel is still waiting.
8 cars on the lead lap. The man who led a lot, Giuseppe Iannucci, back and forth. Funny story about Iannucci. This used to be a league event where you entered as Iannucci comes in. He entered one of these and did not realize it was a demo derby. It was about 5 laps in before he caught on to the rules.
That's fantastic to hear. That's the sort of stories you want to be hearing. But Derricks is in.
Oh.
He's got damage. Derricks is in. My goodness, who's collected him? Just enough. The answer was, I believe, it was contact with a brown machine, I do believe there, Sue.
I thought the pace was he was well enough. It might have been Garcia that got him from the tail.
And Kanchin off as well, and that was the driver in 2nd position. So Sonny Kanchin not getting the best of it. He goes into contact with Heusinkveld, who is completely damaged in this situation. Kanchin trying to go forward as well. So now Derricks could get a free stop and does get a free stop. Marco Derricks playing the game soon.
Back in the lead.
Comfortably back in the lead as well. I think that's something that you have to remember in this situation, because you look at it, Kanchin's got to go down the lane. Tam's been on the lane for a while. Who's the next vehicle that's going to try and go through? Willemsen, he's on the lane. Stevens then is in all sorts of issues as well, as he's the wrong side of the tyres, collecting another driver. And well, Stevens is now going to have to try and reverse himself out of there, try and not get caught. And he's trying everything, and I think he's just about done it. I think Derricks could get the lap here.
Let's look at Brian Holmes real quick here. We're looking at those 2. I guess those are both yellow cars. They're colored differently on the bottom. That's Holmes out in front. He is well down the order, but he is trying to hold our leader up.
Yes, and this is the thing though, even if you do hold him up, is there enough time for a stop in comparison? Because Nick Thyssen would be the only other vehicle to be classed on the leading lap, and he's going to have to get around. He gets around 1. He looks to get around 2, and there's Nick Thyssen, 1 minute 8 behind. In fact, Kanchin's back out there, as is Iannucci, and they're 29 and 38 seconds behind comparatively to Marco Derricks. So Derricks has about a stop of advantage, and that's going to be crucial for the second half of this event.
And Derricks was able to turn Holmes, and now he gets by, taking a shot at him. Coons.
Not enough. Not enough from Derricks. Dravegaard's next, though.
Now, this is tough. He's got to go. He's got to be smart enough to get around Dravegaard, and still these guys are coming behind him.
And then you got Hefford, who has been a notorious wrecker this race. Bassett as well, who has been very efficient. Marco Derricks is probably walking the Hall of Pain right now.
He needs some teammate help is what he needs.
And this is the issue. His teammates Thyssen also in this scrap. He's not going to get teammate help for this one here, Soup. I'm sorry to say it.
Nope.
Here's the rolling road, though, that he's looking to try and take. Hefford may turn in on him. He thinks about it. No, he turns into him to counteract it. Hefford there. Derricks playing a very astute strategy game.
Sometimes the best defense is a good offense, and that's what Derricks is doing right now. He got 1 more card to negotiate.
Oh, he thinks about it. No, he goes after Dravegaard. My word. Oh, Derricks. The best defense is offense, apparently, and that's the way he's going to play it right now. Oh, Fliss involved, Kanchin involved as well. Who's going to survive it? Iannucci runs home scot-free at 5. Wow.
My timing and scoring is showing what? 3. Oh, let's go to our leader right now. I think he's going to get it.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Nice.
That's Dries Nice there playing a very good game down the front stretch. Derricks nowhere really to go. He avoids 1, and then Dries Nice decides, you know what? I'll take you for 2. And there was Marco Derricks now, who will be the furthest point possible away from pit road. Garcia's turned around. Now the next question is, when does Iannucci close? And Iannucci with a clean car, 31 seconds. Derricks is in trouble.
Yeah, he's doesn't have anybody. Oh, there is a herd. Let's go up to 26 with Brian Holmes. Look at this. There's like a stampede up here. Holmes, Bassett involved in this one. Skier,
King.
King
Whoa,
as well.
hello.
And Ashley Beard cuts the course.
He thinks about it. It doesn't work. But now, look, here's Elliot Skier trying to play rolling road with Derek. Tries to get back on. No, he hasn't done that well enough. Think about it there from Della Hayes. That's not going to work. Here's Ashley Beard trying to do something about it. Gets it, but it's only a hit check there. It's not enough to really do anything. Kip Stevens may be a good choice at this situation. Currently 10th position overall. Derek's may have a chance here, but look at how he slows down for Stevens, who is sitting on the apex, thinking about it. No, you missed as well. Derek's is just mastering the traffic.
Like a downhill, like a slalom skier going through those cars as if they were pickets.
Easy so, and there's his teammate as well, just in front.
There you go.
Who will be happy, Jert Willemsen, so the blocker there. And this is the thing, they've got 3 inside the top 5 here, Soup. Because you got Fisson in 4th as well, Willemsen 5th. This team has got it nailed down to a T.
Yeah, even if they lose one, I think their teammate's going to get them.
I think so. You got Koons off, Dima off as well at turn number 3. So I'm not sure Willemsen will do anything here. I think they'll communicate, let me through as easy as you can here. Derek's will not want to see anything happen here behind him, but Iannucci closes the gap down. It's 23 seconds, but Iannucci involved here. You got Heusinkveld just in front, gets around Lauritsen though. So you look at Iannucci now starting to come a cropper, and there's Kanchin just behind.
Let's go up to the leader real quick. I think he's got a shot at now. He's got by the blocker.
And Iannucci taken out, and there's Dravegaard trying to be the blocker, and well, Dravegaard not going to do well. Iannucci was taken out on the run through 3, I do believe that was their Soup, and that was with, again, Heusinkveld. I've got his nickname, On Your Bike, Heusinkveld.
I like it. That'll work.
We got it. We got another one. We had money in Richard Worth last week. This week, On Your Bike, Heusinkveld. So we're just there. 15 minutes left to go, and it's a nervy 15 minutes.
Let's go to Dave. Let's go to Dravegaard real quick. I think he's got a bullseye on the leader.
He's got Willemsen. That's Willemsen.
He took out
the wrong one. Crucial. He took the dummy. He took the bait, and Derek's runs away safe. And there was the blocker in perfect symphony.
That was like the submarine releasing the stuff to make the torpedo go to the wrong stuff.
Beard's got it. Derek's has been caught by Beard. And, well, Beard makes more damage for Derek, so I wonder how much damage on the front. Kanchin being chaperoned behind the tyres. He holds on to it. No, he gets a bit more contact there from Kip Stevens, who's probably given up on this one. Iannucci, in comparison, is getting a fix.
Let's go back to the leader again. He's coming up on Skier and Ursum. He has to stop. He's going to turn Skier. Here comes his helper. Maybe he'll get Ursum.
No, it's not his helper, though. That's the crucial
that's not.
thing. And he's got to go through. He's got to turn Skier. He turns Skier. Skier takes the damage, takes the hit. Ursum and Hartley now want to get into play. And also you have waiting Ryan Koons, who's going to turn in potentially. No, he misses. No chance. So Derek's, does he dive in? Here is also Ashley Beard again. Not going to happen. So I think Derek's has got to dive in. He does. He's got too much damage. Does he turn the man? Just compound the fracture? He does. And he gets through.
Well, I guess he had to come in, but the car seemed to have good enough pace. I guess it's pretty quick. Come and get that fast repair. It doesn't take too long.
And here comes Sonny Kanchin just behind as well, proving that pace does have a place here in this event. And Kanchin now will be under pressure. There's Dries Nice just behind, who will be running for the hills to try and close down Kanchin. Does Kanchin have to dive in? There's a think about it. No, he gets right side to the front and holds it away. Out and away, though, goes the driver of what is going to be Marco Derek, and he's got a straight now. That's all is left.
Longacre has a beat on him and nails him. Oh, actually went through him.
There was netcode. There was netcode. It's the one time I say it, but he's hit a second time. Second time got him. Ursum has made a perfect mastery of all of this. But Sonny Kanchin now just 15 seconds. In fact, less than that. Here's the change for the lead. Oh, Derek, you got to close him down. You got to close him down. That's Kanchin behind. Oh, there was a thought. And Nice has got his man. Kanchin turned, and Soup, there was the chance.
And now our leader has spun. His car is too damaged to race.
Wow. Derek is going to get compounded here, and Kanchin now looking for the lead. This will bring Iannucci back in, and Derek's tried it, but Kanchin takes the lead.
Ursum, who's a veteran, his car is really damaged. It's ahead of Kanchin. He's waiting for him, but at the pace Ursum's going, Kanchin is going to be able to drive right around him.
And Nick Thyssen down on the lane. He needs to take a fast repair. Hartley now up into position number 4. Philipson now back up to position number 5. This is a crucial thing, though, as I look at it. Richard Tam is going to be the backmark blocker for Iannucci as he continues forward, and Kanchin now trying to keep going. Derek's just spun again, though. That's crucial.
And the leader is trying to take out Ursum, but I think they're both going to have to pit. And they no. Oh, Ursum's going to. They stay out, and he misses him. Ursum misses him.
Double Duke from Sonny Kanchin. He got his man. He got out of the way. He did it the right way, and he survived to tell another tale. And I think Derek's is going to be pretty much done when it gets right down to it. Iannucci, though. It's now Kanchin versus Iannucci. And remember the last time Iannucci was part of these? It was Iannucci 1 and 2. And yes, watch Thyssen.
Oh, he didn't get. He had an angle on it, but he didn't take it.
He thought about it, but he thought more about the overall result than taking out Sonny Kanchin. So there was one way to play it in this late stage here with 10 minutes left to go. Iannucci, though, under pressure. That's Larritzen, the former leader, just in front. And there's the brake check.
Let's go to our leader. He works his way around Kip Stevens, and now he goes off track. He gets collected. That's the blue car there. That was
Skier in the pink.
Skier got him. Pink car. Thank you.
Drink again.
Yeah.
There we go. Sonny Kanchin then getting involved, and there's incident there. That's Iannucci turned, and he's going to get a back marker here. Sarah Dove is going to help Iannucci in this situation, but this is what we're seeing now. The war is really coming down, and Kanchin straight into the back of Kip Stevens.
Kanchin's car has been through a lot, but he's got enough pace that I think he'll decide to stay out again.
I think he may do. It depends on how much damage Sonny Kanchin has. Does he dive down in? Yes, he does. So he thinks about it, and trying to make the move was Nick Thyssen. That wasn't going to have any sort of help. But now the question is, how much damage does Iannucci have on that machine? And that's going to be McDonald gone. And I think that's Iannucci around.
No, Iannucci's still going straight. He's through 10, and he stays out. I think we have a new leader. If we can get out before Kanchin. Kanchin is rolling.
So this is the run. Now look for Dove. Dove can use the slingshot, go straight ahead, run for Kanchin. That's the sort of play that we're looking at here. Look at the toe. Iannucci will allow Dove to have the toe, and Dove's not going to go for it, is she? She thinks about it. No, she's too far back. Not going to be able to make that happen, but Ashley Beard waiting. Maybe Dove can be a push here onto Kanchin. There's under 10 minutes to go, and Beard again forcing contact with Kanchin.
I'm looking at that. Are Dove and Iannucci, are those teammates? Those cars look the same color to me. Yes, they are.
And look at this. This is the battle for the lead here out on circuit. So here comes Sarah Dove trying to make something happen here. Kanchin's got to be wary here. Dove will go straight at it. The Scottish woman will show no scorn, show no mercy. Thought about it, didn't happen. We'll try it in a different place.
This is so against her nature. She's such a considerate race driver. Maybe she's happy racing up there in front. Maybe Iannucci's just happy to have the blocker.
Yes, and the blocker is so important right now for Giuseppe Iannucci. He had Tam with him at one stage as well, Richard Tam, and that's going to be crucial because Tam's in 8th position as well. So Tam fighting his own fight, but now watch out here, Sonny Kanchin. Sarah Dove may have a tip. Not going to have a tip, but this is the crucial thing. It's now into 1, and there's going to be more issues. Heusinkveld may decide to turn over. Kanchin's got it.
Oh, he was saved by a billboard. Otherwise, he was in the trees.
Blown engine for Kanchin. That may have to be a tow, and that will be a disaster right now. Iannucci leads this event once again, but look at Larritzen just in front, and look who's waiting in the wings as well. Jerome Ursum waiting for the leader.
And Skier up there as well. Some veteran guys who caused a lot of damage. Here comes Iannucci. There's too many. Giuseppe, there's too many of them.
Use
Here
Sarah
comes
to
his
clear the
helper.
road. Sarah's clearing the road. There's one clear. Trying to get two. No, Iannucci can't make the gap. Now where's... And Derek's back in it and turns around Heusinkveld, I believe that was, into one, but has Hefford behind. So Hefford could take out Derek's here in this situation. Iannucci under so much pressure. Watch Hefford. Hefford's got him.
Got him.
And that's sideways, but crucially not embedded into the tyres. And through will go Gert Willemsen now, the other teammate, up into position number 2. And Willemsen now will have to chase Iannucci. And
Just
Iannucci's
got
around.
turned by
Contact with Lauritsen. We're over each other a bit there, Soup, but Lauritsen straight into the back of Iannucci.
But he keeps going.
For now, and look at that, Iannucci still involved with Lauritsen. And look at Willemsen, he's right there. Which way you look at it, it's going to have to be a toe, and there's contact, and round goes Iannucci, spread himself through the middle, parting of the Red Sea, and look at that, it's Gert Willemsen now into lead, but Skier may have a word. He thinks about it once, it doesn't work. He thinks about it twice, it doesn't work, and Willemsen's going to wait.
Hartley had some trouble. He's currently racing in second.
Oh, and Robert Hartley struggling, but he still sees Willemsen trying to continue on his way. The timer, the laps are slowing right down in the final stages, bringing everybody back into play. But how much time is left for Gert Willemsen in this event? Out comes Richard Tam alongside, but look at this. 5.5 minutes for Willemsen to hold on, and the gap is 1.8 seconds, and there's waiting at the hairpin right now. That's Beard.
Beard up in front. Also the light car in there. That is Tam also in the mix.
It is. So Tam could make retribution for his teammate right now. He could hold up Hartley if he wants to. Willemsen knows how clever Beard can be. Waits on it. Not going to happen. And here's the danger zone coming up. Tam's going to have a run at it. And there's another little look maybe from the driver of Dries Nice. No, he's too slow.
Oh, there's the car. They get around that slower car. That was Holmes.
Willemsen rolls Beard. But crucially enough, Hartley leads.
But he's got Tam right in front of him.
The driver in front who could change all of this. 2 laps down, 9th position. Willemsen started 13th, Hartley started 2nd. And now they are 2nd and 1st respectively. Behind that, though, you look for Iannucci, 30 seconds in his own scrap with Derek's own scrap with Kanchin. So it is a 2-horse race, but 5 on the leading lap. As we head in, Willemsen has to dive onto the lane. A late one. That puts him back in. So now it's Hartley trying to escape using Richard Tam. Tam's got to take him out if anyone else is going to have a chance. And that includes Iannucci, who's now up into 2nd, surely.
I don't think Hartley wants. I think he's happy to see him next to him. Oh, and he decides to make the pass. He doesn't hit him hard enough, though.
It didn't work. It wasn't enough there. He didn't get the right angle on it. He's got to take the rear. Thyssen almost taken out by Dravegaard. So Willemsen out and away again in 2nd position. It now comes down to Hartley and whether he needs to make a pit.
Sarah Dove was waiting. She just came out on the track in front of Hartley. She knows he's coming.
So Hartley now under pressure from Sarah Dove. They're trying everything to put Iannucci back in this race, to get Iannucci a 2nd win as things stand in Demolition Derby terms. So right now you look, Dove, Diemer's there as well. And I think Robert Hartley has got to be careful here. He's caught at the slow point of the circuit. There's contact. Hartley's going to get around 1. There's the blocker in Lee Diemer. That's very crucial. Lee Diemer now becomes a blocker, but it's too slow for Robert Hartley now, who tries to break away. Ursum's next.
Ursum's got to pick up the speed a little bit, or Hartley will just blow by.
And Eric Garcia.
Oh, there's Garcia. Both of them too slow. Are they both going to come into the pits, or they just play it? Oh, they get out of the way.
Straight on Ursum. Oh, he gets around it. Just about saves it. It was 4 minutes when they last crossed the line. This lap's going to be slower. There's vehicles coming out of the lane as well. Thought about it, Dries Nice. He says no. Crosses the line. Time on the clock. 2.5 minutes. And by my reckoning, that will be 2 laps for Hartley to hold on in comparison to Willemsen, who has been struggling on this lap. Iannucci just behind as well. So
let's go to Longacre.
Longacre. trying to make something happen at a late stage then here. Soup Hartley has got to get around Longacre, who has been very effective. Heusinkveld in front. No, that's Beard in front as well, trying to make something happen. Now get on the power. Tried it, missed it.
Billy Bob Wright up ahead.
William Wright, yes. Oh, this is going to be a nervy moment. The gap is 40 seconds, though, to Gert Willemsen. I think that may be enough for Robert Hartley if there is a lap to go, but you never know on the final lap or so here in the Demolition Derby. It could come to an end oh so quickly. I think Iannucci is gone, and yes, I think he is. As he spun, he may take a hammer blow out of Hartley, who's coming around to that same sort of area. The answer is going to be nope, he's down on the lane. So there was the chance gone, and I think, and I'm going to call it now, white flag, driver trying to go the wrong way. That was an attempt, but it didn't work. Got to be careful about the disqualification. 1 lap to go for Robert Hartley. Heusinkveld just in front of him as they make the run to 1, and there's not many drivers that can stop now Robert Hartley from taking it, who started second, proving starting at the front is a very viable strategy. He thinks about it, goes one way, goes the other, tries to brake there as he thought he was going to try and go and make the move. Thinking about it again, hold him up slower. In front of them now, Iannucci waiting, Garcia waiting, gotta go around, gets 1, doesn't get the second, but he's playing chicken now between now and the end of the event. Made a little bit of contact there on the outside, and look at this, Iannucci's gonna chase him all the way now. Very frustrated, Giuseppe Iannucci, and in front of that as well is Skier, avoids Skier, Iannucci into Skier, pull shot in towards the driver of what was going to be, I believe, that was Hartley, and Hartley now is stuck. Where is Willemsen in comparison? The answer is heading to 2, but he's under pressure as well as Lauritsen. Joel Dravegaard even was trying to do it, but Hartley, 2 corners away, can limp it home from here. He can limp it home. Hefford in front, he can push. Thyssen in front, he can push. Everyone doing everything now to hold up Robert Hartley, and the spread eagle is another driver in the middle of the road, and again Hartley gets turned around. He's a corner away from getting himself home. Where is Willemsen in comparison? The answer is just heading himself through the outer section, but it's not going to matter too much from here because Hartley can thread the needle and take the Demolition Derby. Surely 4 waiting, 5 waiting, contact again, and it's not over. And look at that, he's just got to now thread the gap, get himself home. He's just there, almost. Willemsen will try, Willemsen will fail. Hartley is your winner.
Gotta love it.
Wow. Willemsen will also get collected in the final stages. Only 2 will make the leading lap at the very, very end. And Gert Willemsen will be the last vehicle on the leading lap. More than the one that we had a year ago with Nick Thyssen, or whenever it was. But it always proves to be a challenge, and we always see familiar faces. Big shout out though, Mark King, 32nd to 7th. My goodness.
I hope they got it out of their system.
Well, it's the one time they can. What we're going to do, though, is step aside for one moment, because when we come back, Eagle's Nest Tavern wrap-up, and, of course, we may get to speak to a few drivers. See you in a few. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Eagle's Nest Tavern Wrap-Up Show. Green Valley Lake is the best kept secret in Southern California's San Bernardino Mountains, and while visiting, stop into the Eagle's Nest Tavern for a hot meal and a cold drink. They are, as we know, on Facebook. So, with the circuit of Summit Point all sussed out, here is the final race results from the circuit of Summit Point, the Demolition Derby. Well, it's interesting towards the end, and even after the finish as well. It's a controversial one, but it's one that has to be said. The win has been taken away from Robert Hartley for cutting 5 through 7. No chance to serve the penalty, and as such, Gert Willemsen takes a 10-second victory over Robert Hartley when all is said and done. Gert Willemsen is the winner of the Demolition Derby. Hartley in second, the only other driver to be classed on the leading lap. Patrick Fliss will be classed as third, with Mark King starting 32nd, moving all the way up to fourth by the end of proceedings. Marco Derricks will finish in fifth, with Giuseppe Iannucci, a former champion, in sixth. Sonny Kanchin, the official championship leader, in seventh. Richard Tam in eighth. The Bay State Hammer, Tom Ratji, in ninth. And another fabled winner, Nick Thiessen, a teammate of Willemsen, rounds out the top 10.
But so many of those drivers, Jake went down, all had a share of the lead during this event. Billy Bob Wright comes home 11th. Anthony Delahaye's behind him. Chris Bassett and Jeff Lowell go 13th and 14th. Eric Garcia, 15th. All ribbons and curls. Sweet 16 is Sarah Dove. Joe McDonald behind her. Elliot Skier in 18th position. 19th and 20th goes to Lee Deemer and Craig Klein.
Ross Bygrave in the blackjack position. Jerome Urson double deuce. Put in a lot of work here today. Dries Nice 8 laps down. So is Michael Wright, Victor Draveguard, Jimmy Vessel, another one of those drivers. Brian Holmes in 27th, with Kip the Hairflick Stevens 28th. Your pole sitter Alexander Lauritsen led for a fair way, but would be out in 30th in 29th, 30th to Evan Longacre.
Dominic Hugendijk in 31st position. Ashley Beard, Steve Hefford behind him. Ryan Coons, Cesare Rizzo, Billy Fitzgerald, and Alan English, the final cars.
And with that, 37 become 0, as it is all over here in this event. And right now, Soup, I have to feel very sad. We don't have any drivers who want to talk to us.
Well, let me see if I can force somebody to come in here. I'm going to go tackle somebody here. Let's see if we can talk to series organizer Jeroen Ursum, if I caught him by surprise. Jeroen, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I'm here.
What a great event. And it's funny, for a race that has no rules, iRacing actually had a rule, and they took the win away from Robert Hartley.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm happy to see him lose the victory, because this is a little bit set up for the lesser heroes in the series to get wins.
That's right. So Jupe gets one. How did your race go? You got in trouble early, then you had to spend most of it just trying to cause damage.
Yeah, we tried to cut the course in the first lap to avoid all the wreckage. But in practice you didn't get much penalty for it, but in the race you get pretty hard penalized for that.
It worked good. You were first to the pits, but then they all went around you. Well, let's talk big picture now about the series, as we're about halfway through. Sonny Kanchin has been impressive, hasn't he?
Yeah, even here he was hard to get.
How is that possible then, again?
I don't know.
He's good at pit stops, he's good at speed, and also he can, when nonsense breaks out, he's good there too.
Yeah, I was trying to get him out somewhere, but he just hit out my steering and I couldn't get him.
Well, Jeroen, thanks a lot for coming in to talk to us, and good luck the rest of the way, and thanks for all the work you do for the MWT.
Yeah, and thanks for all the broadcasting, guys, and sorry, Soup, for all the calling this race.
No problem. All right.
I'll doing my bingos later, watching this back.
Okay. Jeroen Ursum. Jake, you want to talk with Sarah Dove?
It looks like I've got not much choice then, Sarah. All ribbons and curls in Sweet 16, and well, you were playing what we like to call shotgun to your teammate Giuseppe Iannucci for the majority of this race, and well, you certainly had a very good start to things.
Yeah. I think I qualified 10th, and I think I was up to 4th at one point, which is pretty good. This is, I think, probably one of my better tracks, or best tracks in the MX-5, so I was able to get pretty quick. But then I just kept getting taken out, so I decided to help Giuseppe.
Well, getting taken out is part of the game, and I don't think any driver was spared an opportunity to be taken out in this event, I think is the right wording for it. But when you have a team effort, how much are you really in talks with the likes of Giuseppe and Richard in that situation? Are you really focusing to try and get in there? Because at one stage, Iannucci let you through to try and play battering ram.
We were talking in one of the channels in the sim, so it was kind of sort of an organizing thing, but it didn't really go very well because there was just so much stuff happening. But it went okay for my first try, I think.
And as a first try, I have to say it was an impressive showing heading in. But, of course, in a week's time, we go back to official racing, as much as some people won't like it. Watkins Glen, classic boot layout. Watkins Glen, certainly a circuit that has a lot of people favorited right now when it gets right down to the bread and butter.
I like the track, and I think the classic boot is probably the best layout, in my opinion.
And short and sweet, and that's how we like it. Sarah Dove there, taking home 16th position overall, playing the sacrificial lamb soup for what had to be the driver of Giuseppe Iannucci. And as things stand, well, the winning team that we've got overall, I believe you can announce.
Yes, this is a team event. I think it's important that we announce the yellow-purple team that won this one. Jupe Williamson obviously won this, but he was teamed up with Nick Thyssen and Marco Dirick. So sure ahead, those guys. Well, I think all those guys had a taste of the lead today.
They were all very close, all inside the top 10. So unfortunately, at that stage, we have called a winner, but it's not unfortunate for them. But unfortunately for us, that is probably all that we are going to have time for here this evening. We'd like to thank everybody at the Quality Racing Sim-dicate for organising this series and contracting with GSRC to go and broadcast this. Thanks also go to Heusinkveld. Affordable simulator software and hardware are thought to be of limited use for race teams and drivers, but their simulation solutions bring professional results within reach for any race team or driver without having to compromise on realism or engineering value. They offer a broad array of products and services such as advanced vehicle simulation software and hardware. They are able to simulate any combination of race car and track, including a full-fledged cockpit environment with an unparalleled realism. Heusinkveld solutions are currently being used by professional teams and drivers in Formula 4, GP3, GP2 and Formula 1. Now, these products are available for any professional team or driver looking for an edge in racing. Be a better race car driver and get in touch today. Thanks also go to the folks at Tidal Influence and Eagle's Nest Tavern, as well as to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on our broadcast. And of course, the original music that you've heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
The Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour returns in 1 week. That's race 7, November 25th from Watkins Glen. GSRC will be there. We hope you come along to watch all the action. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, your best bet is globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel.
And just before we wrap things up fully, I'd like to pay my respects to a sim racing broadcaster that we all know and we all love. We'd like to pay here at the Global Sim Racing Channel our respects to John Granger of RaceSpot TV, who tragically passed away this week. And our thoughts and condolences go out to the Granger family. And finally, on behalf of the man on my right, Bill Subzan, the man behind our desk, our director Joe Peake, and the man who some say once ran a demolition derby and finished with no incident points, our camera guru Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank you all for watching. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.